going to lower your CPMs. And by far, this will lower it the most out of any of these other things that we've mentioned today. This is what we found to be the biggest lever with Facebook ads. Hey everyone, my name is Chase Chappell, and welcome to the video on how to lower your cost per CPMs after iOS 14. So first things first, one of the things that you can do is actually broaden your audience. So with your audience, if it's too small, there's a very good case that you're going to be lifting your own CPM costs, making them much higher than they should be. Because if you're going after a smaller audience, then you're going to run out of that audience a lot faster, and it's going to be more competitive because other advertisers are also going to be in that pool. And if there's less people, there's less opportunities for you with other competitors. Therefore, your CPM costs actually start to rise. The second thing is the time of day that your ads are running. There's a good chance that if you're running ads during Q4, during the holidays, you're going to see a higher CPM. That's natural because there's a lot of advertisers online. Big companies are pushing out their marketing budgets. People are ending their marketing budgets at the end of the year, so they got to get rid of that money anyways. And it's very competitive because the offers are off the charts with Black Friday and towards the end of the year with Christmas. There's so many different types of offers that people are doing in order to really boost their overall sales for the year. So it gets highly competitive, so you'll see a very high CPM. That is normal, but there are things you can do to lower your cost per CPM. This doesn't have to be a game of chance. There are data-driven methods you can actually take. Facebook does have a list of 10 of them, and we're going to be covering those today. And one of the things is overlapping audiences. If you have two audiences and they are, let's say they're converting very well, but your CPMs are quite high. And if you had lower CPMs, you could reach more people and likely get more conversions. Well, if your CPMs are in the $50 to $100 range, that's insane. One of the things you can do is actually mitigate overlap by actually stacking your audiences. That's taking a single audience and another audience that's performing that have high CPMs and combining them together so that way you can lower your CPM. The reason this works is because you're already out overbidding yourself. You're essentially inflating your own CPM costs because you have overlap within the audiences and your budgets are controlled on two different levels, therefore rising your overall cost to begin with. Stacking them removes that overlap and gives you more audience opportunities because going back to the time of day that your ads could run, people are going to be active at different times. Some, in that audience, it might be 1 million size and 100,000 people might be active that given day. Or there might only be 20,000 active out of that million audience. Some people don't log into Facebook every day or Instagram every day. Some log in every 2 days, or some are in every hour. So the opportunities for you to show your ad is going to be, based off of the size that you're going off of, the type of offer you have in your ad, and how high of a quality your ad's received. Which is another thing. The ad perception quality is huge in lowering your actual cost per CPM. If you have a bad feedback score on your page, let's say you have a 5 out of 5 feedback score, you're going to have beautiful delivery. You're going to have really low cost per CPMs because people really like your ad. They're engaging with it. They haven't negatively rated you. They're receiving their product. They're happy with it. It's high quality. Now, if you have a feedback page score of 2 out of 5, well, Facebook's going to automatically lower your actual, reach and spike your CPM costs. You quite literally could be paying $10 to reach, 100 people, and somebody else could be paying $10 to reach 1,000 people. So they're getting much more reach for the same amount of money as you, all because people are negatively reviewing your ads and product. So it's really important to maintain a great feedback score on your ads and on your page so that way you can have wonderful delivery and actually get really low cost per CPMs. Some of those other things actually include your frequency. Let's say that you're going after cold audiences, which are new audiences, people who've never heard of you. If you're running ads and you see your frequencies rising on a cold audience, that's not a great sign because that means essentially you're reaching the same people more than once in a cold audience. You want to be reaching only new. So that can raise your CPMs about you having to pay to reach the same person multiple times. So what you could do is exclude, say, your retargeting audiences from your cold, which automatically makes it to where any new person who's ever came in contact with your brand before, it's putting them in a retargeting bucket. Now, it's important that you have a retargeting audience for those people, so that way you can have those high CPMs over there. It's totally normal to have high CPMs on retargeting. That's fair because you have a very small audience. It might only be a couple thousand people, which is totally normal when you're starting out. So having a high CPM there is fair, but you also have a much better conversion rate because it's quality. Now, in the cold, if your frequencies are rising, that's not necessarily a good sign. That just means that you're not doing enough retargeting, you're not doing enough exclusions. So that's really going to help you on your CPM side if you are able to actually write in with exclusions from your retargeting audiences and vice versa. The other thing is your objective and optimization events. Now, we could just say, hey, go do engagement or traffic campaigns, and you would be paying, $1 to $10 CPMs all day long. Yeah, wonderful. But you're just reaching people and not really getting anything back in return in terms of conversions. What you need to focus on is actually going after the goal that you would actually like. If it's purchases, then go after purchase conversions and then figure out how to lower your CPMs with these steps. Now, you could just do the opposite and go to traffic, but you might not see any conversions. So you need to make sure that you try to lower your CPMs based off of what your conversions are doing and making sure your conversion rates are actually going up. If you're only reaching more new people and not really getting any better results, then it's not really necessary, to chase that KPI because it's not impacting you that much. But if you have a conversion campaign that's converting at 8 to 10%, and every single time you reach more people, that conversion rate holds, well, then, CPMs become quite an important KPI to start lowering. The other thing is budget. You could be overspending on your audience. There's a very good chance that, if you've raised your budget substantially and your audience can't handle that scale because not enough people are active or not enough placements are able to be happening, you could be, overspending and therefore raising your CPMs. You might reach, 40,000 people for $80. And then next thing you know, towards the end of the day, it dumps $200 of your budget and you only reached an extra 1,000, therefore spiking your CPMs at the end of the day. So you need to make sure your audience can actually handle the scale. Now, also with that, in order to make sure an audience can handle scale is having good placement. Some people only go in with video, which quite literally could be insane because you're essentially raising your CPMs automatically because you're not getting the image placements. You're not getting all those additional placements that story can go in. Same thing for same thing for image. If you go in with images and you aren't running any video ads, well, you're automatically raising your CPM cost again. So to lower your CPMs, what you want to do is have both image and video and making sure you can maximize placements. You want automatic placements turned on, and you want to be able to have, carousels, images, videos, collection ads. So that way you can maximize the total placements on Facebook and get the guaranteed number of opportunities for yourself. You can actually check your analytics to see where your placements are and find out where you're delivering. You might only find that you're delivering in one specific feed, which is really limiting your opportunity because only so many people are in that feed at that given time, as well as so many competitors are bidding in that specific area. Now, market supply is another thing, and that's really meaning, the demand for your product. Let's say that you're selling a t-shirt. Well, that's going to have quite, a wide range audience. So a lot of people could potentially buy that. So therefore you could get low CPMs because lots of people might engage with it. Lots of people might want it. It makes sense. Now, if you're selling a product that is, very high ticket, that's maybe $5,000, $10,000. Well, it's very normal to have a high CPM because you're going after quality, not quantity. So you really don't have to worry too much about lowering your CPMs because your audience can only a certain type of audience could afford a $5,000 to $10,000 product, and only a certain type of individual you would want to be able to capture in order to actually make that purchase. So therefore, a higher CPM is okay and normal in those positions. But if you're selling a product that's under $100 and you have very high CPMs, that's not necessarily a good sign. You want to be able to go after the masses in this case. The other thing is the creative quality and relevance of your ad. If it's not relevant to the audience, you're going to pay a higher CPM. You need to know who your audience is. Otherwise, if you're showing, diapers to a teenager who doesn't have a baby, well, you're going to have a high CPM because that person's not interested in it. They're not going to engage with your ad. It's going to spike your CPM. Facebook's going to automatically know that people are disengaged with your ad and not interested. So you need to make sure you show it to mothers who have children who are babies who need diapers. It only makes sense that you got to make sure that you have a perfect, fit with the audience in your product. The other thing that is going to lower your CPMs, and by far this will lower it the most out of any of these other things that we've mentioned today, this is what we found to be the biggest lever with Facebook ads. And it's your offer. A great offer can totally pull down the cost of your CPMs dramatically. You could easily see a jump from 60, 80 cost per CPM all the way down to $5 to $10 CPMs just by changing your offer. Let's say that your competitor is selling a t-shirt at $25 and you're selling a t-shirt at $9.99. You selling it at $9.99 and it being the same t-shirt, you're going to get more delivery, more reach because Facebook's algorithm favors value over bid. So they're not saying highest bidder gets the purchase. They're saying highest value gets the purchase and we'll take bid into consideration. Highest value is if you're selling it at $9.99 and they're selling it at $25, well, you're automatically going to be the ad that gets shown first to that person. And that's because you're giving them more value. You're discounting it up to $15 more than they are, and they are selling the exact same thing as you. So if you have a competitor in the space that is selling the same product for less than you, well, you can automatically assume they're going to have better CPMs than you would. So you want to find unique selling points or unique ways that you can improve the value of your ad and improve the offer, so that way you can outperform them. Now, I'm not saying you have to lower your price, but that's just one example. It could be a bundle, it could be adding in additional product with it. It's just more total value compared to your actual competitors, which will give you much better CPM costs. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please do give it a like and subscribe. It really does help a lot. These videos are hard to make, and I'm really looking forward to making more content for you guys. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.